Okay, we're live. Just taking a moment to get settled in here. We're going to give ourselves a few moments here at the beginning, sort of see if anyone else is showing up. But give yourself this time right now to settle in, to shift from whatever you were just doing to whatever degree you're able to settle in a little bit more fully. And for us here, if you're new here, what this looks like is really coming into self, into your body. If you're seated like I am, and I invite you, if you are able, find a seat. Take some deep breaths into self, really. Find your feet on the floor, your seat in your chair. Let's take some deep grounding breaths. Everything we do here is embodied work. And today we have a full moon conversation. So we get to do some embodied astrology, which is, as always, about coming into self. And here we get to play in the astrology. So play in the kind of mystical magic of what's happening with the sun, with the moon, anything else that you want to sit in and play with today. And so taking those deep breaths into yourself, and let's really get focused here, kind of sort of officially get started. Taking some deep breaths down into your body. Nice full inhale, really feeling into that expansion of your rib cage, of your abdomen, taking some grounding breaths in a way that really drops you out of your head and down into your body. And an invitation to, as this whole, right, I'm going to be bringing through some guided practice. I'm going to be sharing some words. And I invite you to share in the chat to make this interactive. This is why I do this live, is so that we can be interactive in the chat. So it's not just me on one side of the video here sharing at you, but we can make it a little bit more interactive if that appeals to you. But so the whole of this video, the whole of this live, whether you're watching it live or on the replay, really honoring this time, this space. I know it's a YouTube live, right? Kind of silly, but making the most out of it, right? Giving yourself this time to be here in this space, making the most out of it. We have a powerful full moon that's brought us here. We have this full moon in Gemini, and it's a moon in Gemini and a sun in Sagittarius. And if you know me, I am not only a Sagittarius, I am a 7x Sagittarius. I am a full-blooded Sagittarius. So when we're in Sag season, I just light up, and I love playing in this energy and sharing this energy. So we have the sun in Sagittarius, the moon in Gemini. So we have this Sagittarius Gemini axis. And I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this in this video. And we also have another one of these tomorrow. I set up two of them. I set up this one as we're approaching the full moon. So we're still in this energy right now that's building. And we're still building towards the full moon. We're already in it, right? And if you're like me, you're already really feeling it, but we're still in this energy that's building towards that peak of the full moon. And tomorrow we'll hit that, and we'll have another one of these tomorrow as well, which is fun, giving us two different spaces to play in this. But for today, and a reminder to really keep those grounding breaths to help you center in self. Right? Embodiment work is energetic work. And so while you may be attuned to some level of what's going on in your head, right, as I'm sharing words and we're being in practice, what actually matters here isn't what's going on in your head, isn't what you're consciously perceiving. It's what's alive in your body. It's what your whole self, your whole energetics, your whole being is going through. And much of that is subconscious, right? And that's why we use the breath. We use these grounding exercises is to bring a level of consciousness deeper than maybe you would otherwise. And in this way, invite in a deeper, again, more embodied experience. Okay. So shifting back into things here now, I'm going to continue to weave between practice and sharing about the full moon. But again, knowing it's all practice, it's all experiential. So here we go. This Gemini full moon. And again, we are on our way towards the peak of the full moon. So if we want to play in the pure energy of the moon right now, so an invitation, sort of bring some of your awareness to the moon. Right? Very simply, bringing your energy, your consciousness, and that's going to bring your energy there towards the moon. Maybe you can even close your eyes, sort of find the moon. Where is the physical moon right now? And you may not know in your head like where exactly the moon is, but that's okay. But you're holding this intention to tune into the moon, right? And the moon is cycling around us. So for me this evening, the moon's going to rise here. So I can kind of find it, but it's this invitation to tune into the moon. Simple, right? Simple, but attuning to the physical moon. And then from here, tuning into the sun. So really feeling into the sun-moon axis, tuning into that sun-moon axis. And so much of the work we do here is physical, right? It's physically tuning into nature. So much of astrology, right? So much of astrology is up in our minds. But inviting you to make this more physical, tuning into those physical, the moon, the sun, as you breathe these deep breaths into your body. We're physically aligning here. And then from the space we're going to call in Gemini, that Gemini moon, that Gemini energy that's building, right? And it's building because more and more light from that sun is shining on that moon. So it's this building energy. And that's what this first half of the moon cycle is, right? We're moving from the new moon to the full moon. This building of light, this building up of the energy of that Gemini energy. It's an invitation to receive this. I'm not putting a lot of words yet to exactly what Gemini is, because I want this to be more embodied, more experiential without your head getting into the way. Receiving this energy before we get too heady about it. And what's fun about this, right? Now I'm going to start to shift into Gemini, is this is such a Gemini thing, right? Gemini is a very heady energy. Gemini, when I tune into the zodiac, right? And I think about the head, the mind, right? Gemini is what comes to mind. Gemini, in a lot of ways, keeps us in our heads, keeps us seeing the world, right? In separation, in, this analytical, in this trying to figure things out kind of way is one aspect of Gemini. For me, it's the most powerful aspect of Gemini. And it is powerful and it is important. When this energy gets out of balance, right? We get stuck in our heads and we become disembodied. And we live in this world of duality where we're just constantly trying to figure out everything and make sense of everything. This very heady energy. And just like every aspect of the zodiac, right? What matters is having things in balance. And that's what we get to do here, is to bring this Gemini energy into a higher alignment. So bringing this mind energy into higher alignment. And what I love about this axis we're on, Gemini, Moon, Sagittarius, Sun, is that Sagittarius is so embodied. Sagittarius is a centaur. It's a horse, right? So feeling into that body of a horse, how grounded that is. So when I feel into this Gemini Sagittarius axis, it's like we have this Gemini energy, right? This beautiful Gemini energy. And you connect it to Sagittarius, and Sagittarius grounds it. It grounds it in. No, if you're listening to me talking about Sagittarius here, you may be confused because you're like, wait, isn't Sagittarius a fiery arrow? Like, isn't it expansion? Isn't it adventure? Yes, that is Sagittarius, but the power of Sagittarius comes from the ability before you expand, before you become that fiery arrow shooting off through the ethers, going wherever you're going. Before you do that, it's about becoming grounded. So it's that centaur that wields the arrow, that wields the bow, that's going to shoot the arrow. So this is Sagittarius, that Sagittarius sun right now, this whole month we're in. This Sagittarius energy, feeling into it and let it guide you, that grounding energy. And for me, Sagittarius lives deep down in my body. It's like it brings me down into my body. And here it's leaning into these words, this truth fire, this soul fire. What is your soul aligned truth? Let that ground you. Then from this space, tuning into that fiery arrow, right? Pulling that bow, getting ready to fly off in whatever direction. And it's Sagittarius, so all the directions that you are ready to go. But coming from that grounded, soul-aligned space. So again, that's Sagittarius, so that's the sun. And our moon, Gemini. So how does the mind play a role here? How does your mind, right? Your mind, your brilliant, beautiful mind, and all its amazing capabilities, its ability to see the world, to break it up into pieces so that you can analyze it and understand it and make decisions from that point. How does that align with your deeper soul truth? And from that space, how is that going to send you off in the directions, in all the directions that you are ready to go? It's beautiful. I love working in this energy. I love working with this line because it's this whole alignment piece that I'm talking about these days, right? This alignment. How can we bring all parts of self? Yes, head and heart, right? That's an easy one to talk about. How do we bring head and heart together in alignment? But how do you bring that even deeper into alignment? Your soul truth coming from your depths. This alignment piece is so much of what we do here, and everything that I do is bringing all parts of self online to a higher, wiser degree, but in alignment with the whole of who you are. So working with this axis on this full moon, and we get to do this powerfully on this full moon. But you can do this all year long, right? You can tune into these energies whenever you want. Keep working with this line. What I want to do here with the rest of our time is to lean more fully into the energy that is here with this full moon. And again, for those of you here live, an invitation to share in the chat if anything is pinging you, if anything is coming up for you. An invitation to make this sort of co-creative experience. So I've been sharing a lot of words. So an invitation to shift more fully back into self. And hopefully you've been sitting in a space of this embodied space, and these deep breaths down into self. So we've tuned into the energy of the sun and the moon, physically tuned in, right? And physically tuned in to that sun, that moon, wherever they are physically in the world right now. We've talked about Gemini. We've talked about Sagittarius. So tuning in to that Sagittarius sun, that Gemini moon, physically in the world around you. And now, sort of coming into alignment in self. So head on top of shoulders, right? Seat in connection to your chair. This aligned position. And from this space, maybe you close down your eyes. And start to bring the sun, the moon into alignment here in your body. So what I'm seeing is this sun kind of right overhead. And this moon, this lunar energy of down in my body. So sun up above, moon down in your body. That Sagittarius sun up above, that lunar Gemini energy down in your body. And just breathing this for a moment. It's like you're breathing your channel here for a moment. As you're breathing your channel, it's like you're opening your crown to that sun up above. Breathing down in your body to that lunar energy down below. Just breathing your channel here. Breathing in that sun and that lunar energy. And as you're breathing your channel here, this invitation to kind of lean back a little bit. It's like you're getting out of your way to whatever degree your mind has been on board trying to control what's going on here. Invitation to tune in to these energies in this way. The sun up above, the moon down below. This Sagittarius sun up above, this Gemini moon down below. This invitation to allow these energies to shift you into your next highest alignment. No attachment from your mind, right? If you notice your mind trying to control the experience, getting your mind out of the way. This is the highest form, that Sagittarius energy, the highest form, that Gemini energy. Letting these energies shift you into alignment. your next highest alignment, making this embodied. So noticing if there's any sort of sensations in your body. Maybe you feel a release. Maybe you experience a part of self lighting up. Maybe you experience this deep in your body. Maybe you experience it in your heart as the center part of you. Of allowing this to take some time, sitting with it. And I promise you, the more you can get your head out of the way, the more you can lean into the pure energies here, the more powerful it will be. In that Gemini mind energy, that mind that wants to be online, on board all the time, the mind that needs to be involved, that needs to be understanding and controlling the situation. This is that level of mind that we're moving beyond. Okay, so getting your mind out of the way. This is not the space for it to be involved and to control and to manipulate and to make it be what it wants to be. This sort of work is beyond the mind. This is deeper than the mind. The mind can't go here. Right? This is soul level work. This is work aligned with that highest level energy. And let Sagittarius, let Gemini, let your soul, let your higher self be involved here. So we're going to lean in one more time. We're going to lean in one more time. So if you're just joining in, this is an awesome time to join in. Simple practice here, powerful practice. Tuning into that sun up above, that moon down in your depths, this lunar energy down in your depths. Doing this at this powerful time, this sun in Sag, moon in Gemini. It's a super moon. We've got some wild astrology happening. Tuning into this energy here. It's experiencing what is here to unfold for you. Leaning back into it, getting your mind out of the way. Allowing yourself to have a soul level experience. Moving you into your higher alignment. Breathing into it, using your breath, calling upon your breath to help you stay centered in this space. So take a few more breaths here together. One more breath here together. And I'm going to wrap up today. You have a few more minutes, trying to keep this about half an hour today. In speaking to where we're at, this is part one. Part two will be tomorrow during the kind of peak of the full moon. I want to share some words too of what you can be doing now and in the upcoming hours, the next day, day and a half, as we move into this full moon, the peak of the full moon, but also beyond. Right? We're in a whole moon cycle, right? We start with the new moon, move into the full moon, and then the full moon is going to take us into the next new moon. So we have this cycle. So you have this 28-day cycle that you can work with. And maybe you sort of set some intention to work with at the beginning of this new moon cycle. And maybe that's sort of present to you. Maybe you're working in some bigger cycles. There's a lot of big cycles right now coming to completion. Right? And that's what the full moon is. We're coming to culmination, right? We have the new moon, we plant the seed, we set the intention, and we build up. And we hit that peak, that full moon, that culmination. But that's not the end of the cycle. That's actually only halfway through the cycle. And when we're here at the full moon, it's this intensity, right? We've built up that light. Now, under this big full moon, right, that bright light, we can ask, what are you ready to release? And again, maybe you set a clear intention at the beginning of this moon cycle, or maybe you're working in a bigger cycle. But now's an opportunity to sit in whatever has been building, whatever you've been working through, and ask, what now are you ready to release? So that as you keep moving through this cycle, again, maybe it's this moon cycle, maybe it's a bigger cycle, what are you ready to release so that you can keep moving forward? Now, the way this worked today is that, keeping our mind out of the way, right? Now we're here at the end of the video, and an invitation to bring your mind on board to the next degree. Okay, now bringing more intention to it. What are you working with consciously in your life? And you can work with that. You can bring your mind on board, really sit with the intentions you've set, the building of those intentions, how that's actually been playing out in your life. And now at the full moon, okay, what are you still holding on to? What energies are still within you? What patterns are still within you and being enacted out through you that are preventing this cycle to come into full fruition? In other words, what needs to be released so that you can fully step into the person you are ready to be, so that you can do whatever it is you're ready to do or manifest whatever you are ready to manifest, that sort of thing. So you can bring your mind on board at this point, sort of work with that intentionally. Also, know that there is so much more going on unconsciously, right? Subconsciously. And that's why for most of this video, for most of this practice, I was like, keep your mind out of the way, because what your mind is going to do is come in and block the full power of what could be unfolding here. So yes, there's a time to bring your mind on board. And there is a time to get your mind out of the way, to lean into the pure energetics, to soak into the pure energetics. Is this making sense? Your mind has a powerful purpose, and it's so important that you have it on board in alignment. It's also so important that it knows its place. It knows that there are deeper truths and there are deeper happenings, and that the mind isn't going to ever really fully know all that's at play. And that's what's so fun about getting to play in this space, right? The astrology is because what's happening out there is so far beyond anything our minds are ever going to comprehend. And we can play these games with astrology, right? We can draw up these maps and our minds can start to make meaning out of what's happening. But they're never going to fully understand the picture, right? This is all just some construct. This is all just some game we've made up. So let's bring our minds on board. Let's play the game. Let's lean in. But more than that, find that time to get your mind out of the way, to lean into the pure energetics, to be worked so that you can come into that stronger, truer alignment. Which is such a fun Gemini topic. Such a fun Gemini topic. So I love being in the Gemini energy so we can talk about the role of the mind in embodiment, in alignment. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. Okay, so we have one more of these things. As I'm recording this live, it's tomorrow evening, so Thursday night, my time. That is a time where we get to come together under what is closer to the peak of the full moon. Going to have more practice to play in, to work in, and I look forward to seeing you then.